everyone. So I wanted to start this week just checking in and give some updates, and especially around some of the questions that folks have had along the way. So in terms of the final project, I just want us to be thinking about what our interests are. I want this assignment to be something that you can use or will use. And so I really want you to think about, as you build your ideas and build the different weeks of what we're going to ask you to do in the course, I want you to think about what matters to you. If you need questions or support on topics, I've already had a couple of chats with some folks in the class. Please reach out. And I'll talk about what we're going to do this week in a little bit. The other question that I've had is about the groups. So I know I set up the groups. We're going to be first doing groups and group conversations in topic 3. So not these 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks. And one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is to find a time at the end of those 2 weeks to be able to come together with your small group of 3 or 4 and really try to think through some ideas and brainstorm some ideas for our projects, because I think it's important to have that time so that you have the opportunity to talk with me, but also your peers and some other folks that might be really coming from a different perspective. So what are we going to do this week or the next 2 weeks? In topic 2, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the media literacy frame. So we've been using that for our deconstructions now twice. We're going to do it some more. In fact, we're really going to try and tie our media use along with deconstruction. We're going to read about the framework a little bit and try to unpack it. And what I want us to do is I want us to think about, like, what are the affordances of thinking about this frame, and how does this connect to what I'm interested in? But also I want us to maybe do a bit of a critique. So critique is an interesting word because it doesn't mean that we just say like bad things about things, right? The idea of critique is that we really have to understand the context of where this is coming from. So our reading this week that we're actually going to use for both weeks is as a description of the frame, so that we kind of hear from the people that created the frame why this matters, why this. Because I think understanding, when we read articles, understanding the context of the person writing it really impacts a lot of different things. And so what we're going to do, we're going to do a media use. So for week 1 of this topic, we're going to do a media use journal. It's going to be really similar to your first one, right? You're going to go through, you're going to collect some media, your use. But what I want you to do is I want you to think about the ads that you notice within the different kinds of media, and then choose some examples. And again, maybe dive into some of those early questions about the media deconstruction. Then we're going to do a deconstruction. And so again, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the reading around that. And I want us to be able to build a deconstruction really around kind of our thoughts around the article. And so that's our first week. For readings and reflections, we're going to go back through. I'm going to have you look at the media literacy framework reading again. So there's not an extra reading there per se, but I am going to actually look at a tobacco use in the media example that this group has put out. And I want us to do a little bit of a critique on that. And that's what our discussion in Slack is going to be around. And so again, I have some questions in you and respond in topic 2 of Slack. And then for this part of round 2 of the final project prep, and again, you could do text, video, audio, any format you like. Try to put together a bit of an outline. So I want to send this video now so that you have a couple of weeks to think about it. You're going to be able to get feedback from me on it. You're going to get feedback from your peers in the following section when you go through and do that. That's kind of all I have. If you have any questions, reach out, and looking forward to seeing what you all come up with. And thanks.